Fifth grade friends. I hope you all are getting all your work done. I hope you had a good spring break. There was good weather, so I hope you guys got to play outside and get active. And now you're back to working on your packets, and we got to get back into school, okay? So, for this lesson, we're going to be going over the order of operations. So, for this one, you're going to need this worksheet, okay? This is going to be your order of operations worksheet. And at the bottom of it, it's got a little color code key. You're going to use that to color in this paper, okay? So you're going to need both of those sheets, okay? But I'm just going to be going over this one, okay? You all will do the coloring on your own, okay? So first, when we do order of operations, we have to go over what the order of operations are. So think for a minute, what are the order of operations? Okay, if you said that the order of operations is the order in which you need to answer a math problem, then you are correct, okay? So we're going to use this chart right here that I have made for us to help answer our questions, okay? So when we do order of operations, we use GEMDAS, okay? So that's an acronym. An acronym just means that they take the first letter of each saying and make it into an acronym. So like the G, the saying that we use for this is, Grandma, excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, that's something that will help us to remember what our order of operations are. So the G stands for grouping, okay? And I drew down here a little parentheses. Grouping is what you would do that would be within the parentheses, okay? And that's what you have to do first. So when the G comes first, grouping, that's what you have to do first in your problem, okay? Now, E is going to be for exponents, okay? Think for just a minute, what are exponents? Okay, exponents are, and you can barely see this, I put 3 to the second power, okay? So that's when an exponent is when we have, like this has a 3 and then a little tiny 2 over top of it, beside of it. That means that we're multiplying 3 to its own power. So 3 times 3, 3 to the second power, okay? Which would be 9, okay? So the M in GEMDAS would stand for multiplication, okay? And we all know multiplication is, okay? That's when we multiply two numbers together, or we can end up multiplying more than one number together, okay? And then we know that D stands for division. But think for just a minute. Think on your own. Okay, so we know that we have to do grouping first, okay? Then we know if an exponent comes next, we have to do the exponent next. But when we are in multiplication or division, which one of those would come first? Think about it. Okay, if you said that multiplication would come first, think about it again, okay? Even though it comes first in our little saying, multiplication and division are together as one almost. So you could, whether multiplication or division came first, you have to do whatever comes first. So even if division is before multiplication, we need to do our division first. Okay, so these two, the M and the D, you can think of those as one. Okay, you just do whichever one comes first. And the same thing with the A and the S. A is for addition and S is for subtraction. You would do whichever one came first in your problem, okay? So if the subtraction came first before addition, you would need to do the subtraction first. And then if the addition came first, then you would do the addition first, okay? And I needed to go over what our goal for the day is. So we went over our GMDOS, and we went over what the order of operations are. But what your I can statement is for the day is that you will be able to use the order of operations to solve for math problems. So that's what we were going to be doing today. We're going to use this worksheet and we're going to use our order of operations to answer math problems, okay? So we went over our GMDOS, okay, and we know what our order of operations are. And I'm going to leave this up here throughout this lesson for you to look back on, and it will help you to solve for our math problems, okay? So our first example problem is going to be, let me get it wrote down and then I will show it to you all. Okay, so I'm going to let you get this wrote down real quick, and then we're going to go over it, okay? Okay, everyone should have that wrote down by now. Okay, so think to yourselves, what comes first when we are thinking of our order of operations? What part of this problem do we need to do first? Okay, if you came up with the what's in parentheses, then you're correct. We need to do what's in parentheses first because that is what our grouping, our G stands for, and that's what comes first. So 30 minus 14 is going to be 16. Okay, and we can go ahead. We already answered what was in the parentheses, so we don't have to leave the parentheses there. Okay, so 30 minus 14 is 16. And then we need to drop down what's left in our problem, okay? So now think, which order of operation needs to come next? And we need to use GMDOS for that, okay? So think about it. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, if you said that the exponent needed to come next, you are correct, okay? So 5 times itself, so 5 to the second power. So we're multiplying 5 times 5, okay? And 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, and then we need to bring everything else down in the problem. Okay, and don't forget your plus sign right there. Even though we already answered this, we still have to bring that plus sign down, the addition sign. Okay, so now what would come next for our order of operations? Be thinking about it. Okay, think back. Addition, we have subtraction and an addition problem. Remember, it doesn't have to go in that, like I don't have to do addition first, okay? You do whichever one comes first in the problem, okay? So 16 minus 6 would be 10 plus 25 because we need to bring the rest of our problem down. And we all know that 10 plus 25 would be 35. Okay, so if you got the answer 35, then you've done your order of operations correctly. Good job. Okay, I've got another practice problem. Okay, I'm going to get it wrote down, and then I'm going to let you all copy it down so you could be working on it with me. Get that wrote down, and you can go ahead and start working on it a little bit, and then we're going to go over what we need to do first in this problem. Okay, so if you have started on this, then you know that we need to do our exponent first, okay? There's no parentheses in this problem, so that means we don't have any grouping that we need to solve for, okay? So we need to do our exponent first because exponent comes next in GEMDAS, okay? So 6 times itself, 6 to the second power would be 6 times 6, and that would be 36, okay? All right, 36, and we need to bring the rest of our problem down, okay? Okay, so we've got the rest of that brought down. So now what comes next? For our order of operations, what do we need to solve for next? Okay, our next part that we need to solve for would be division. We don't have any multiplication, okay, but we do have a division. We have 12 divided by 3, okay? What is 12 divided by 3? 4, okay? So now we need to bring the rest of our problem down. All right, so now we just need to solve, okay? We know that whether addition or subtraction, we need to solve for whichever one comes first, okay? So since our subtraction comes first, then we just need to answer that one for now. So 4 minus 4 would just be 0, and then we need to add 36 to 0, okay? So it would just be 36. So that's the answer to our practice problem. So now you need to get out your worksheet. You need to get out this worksheet right here. Okay, the directions on it say combine like terms, compare your answer to the code below, and color by the code on the other side. So using this sheet, we said that there's a color code at the bottom. You will use it to color this sheet right here, okay? So look at number 2, okay? Look at number 2 on this worksheet. You're going to be following along with me. Look at number 2. Number 2, get it wrote down, and we're going to go over it together. All right, so we've got this wrote down, if you're looking at your paper, number 2. So, what do we see at the very beginning of this problem? We see parentheses, so that means we have grouping that we need to solve for, okay? But within our parentheses, which part do we need to answer first? Refer to GEMDAS, okay? Which part do we need to answer first within our parentheses? Exponents, because exponents come next. So 4 times 4, because we're doing 4 to the second power, 4 times 4 would be 16. And we need to bring the rest of this down. And we know that this dot right here is a multiplication sign, okay? So that's what a multiplication sign will look like on your papers. And we're not done solving for the parentheses, so we need to make sure that we put parentheses around this part. And then bring down our plus 4. So now we're still solving in the parentheses. So which part would come next? Multiplication or subtraction? Multiplication, because it comes first. Okay, so 7 times 6 is 42 minus 16. We still need to leave this in parentheses because we're not done solving. Okay, so now be thinking, which part comes next? Okay, we still have to solve for what is in our parentheses. So we need to subtract 42 minus 16. So 42 minus 16 is 26. And then we need, where we're done solving within our parentheses, we can take the parentheses out. Okay, so we just have 26 plus 4. And we just need to add that together to get 30. So if you got 30, that's the answer for number 2 on your worksheet. Okay? So now look at number 4. This is going to be our next one we look at on our worksheet, and it's going to be the last one, okay? It's the last one I'm going to go over with you guys, okay? You're going to do the rest of your worksheet on your own. So get number 4 copied down. Okay? This is number 4 on our worksheet. Be thinking, what is the first part of this problem that we need to solve for? We need to do our division first, okay? Because our division is the first thing that we come to within GEMDAS, okay? We didn't have any grouping. We don't have any exponents. There's no multiplication, but we do have a division problem, so we need to do division first. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So now we need to bring the rest of this down. Okay? Now what do we need to do? We need to do 9 minus 3 first, because we know that with addition and subtraction, we do whichever one comes first in the problem. So 9 minus 3 is 6. Plus 3, we need to bring that other 3 down, would equal 9. So that is the answer to number 4 on your worksheet. Okay? You're going to do the rest of that worksheet on your own, and you're going to use that color code at the bottom to create the drawing, the coloring sheet. It makes a picture, okay? I'll tell you that. Okay, so now I'm going to give you guys a problem. I'm just going to give you this problem. I'm not going to go over it. You're going to work it out on your own, and you're going to give your answers to me through Bloom's or on our Zoom meeting this week, okay? So we can go over that then. But before I give you your problem that you're going to be working on for the next couple of days, I'm going to just review back over our lesson that we just had. Remember, we went over order of operations and what order we need to solve our math problems in. Remember, we use GEMDAS. We use this acronym, Grandma Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, to know that grouping comes first in our problems. Then we move to exponents. That's what comes next. Then multiplication and division. Remember, you can do whichever one comes first. You do whichever one comes first, okay? So then we have addition and subtraction. Remember, addition and subtraction, you do whichever one comes first in the problem, okay? If you have any questions about order of operations, don't forget to contact me or Miss Money through our Bloom's page. Or during our Zoom meetings, okay? You can raise your hand and ask questions. I will be more than happy to help you with your order of operations sheet if you have any questions or any of your other worksheets, okay? I know you all have a lot of work to be doing, and you might be confused on a little bit of it, so don't be afraid to contact me or Miss Money. We won't care a bit to help you, okay? So now I'm going to put your practice problem on here. Okay. I need you all to get out a piece of paper so you can write it down and be working on it. Okay, so this is a problem that you're going to write down. So get it all wrote down. Don't forget anything, and then you're going to solve for it, and then you're going to post your answers on our Blooms page. And you can also message me through our Blooms page if you don't want to post it for everyone to see, since everyone will be working on it. So you can send me a message with your answer. Okay, everyone should have got that wrote down, okay? So don't forget, and write this down too if you need it. Don't forget GMDOS, okay? Grandma, excuse my dear Aunt Sally, because that's what we have to refer to when we do our order of operations. It is very important that you know the order, because you won't get the answer correct in your problems if you don't do the order correctly, okay? Don't forget, ask me any questions you have. I hope you all are getting all your worksheets done. I know that this is stressful, and you're at home and you might not want to do your work, but you have to get it done, okay? So I hope to see you guys soon. If not, please don't feel afraid to ask me any questions, okay? So I will see you guys for our Zoom meetings, okay? Have a good day.